Good afternoon. So following the last two acts, I'm very, very thankful for the fish show footage that was up there in that video to give me a little bit of an opportunity here for success. I'd like to first of all thank all of you for inviting me into this conversation and to be able to lend a venture perspective to the global food system. Although I will be highlighting opportunities from where I stand in the community of venture operators and financiers within agriculture technology and food system innovations, my intention is to convey a message of hope and opportunity for all of us to have an impact, affect change, and have a potential financial gain. The raw facts about the implications of modern agricultural processes, of the food systems in which we're operating, and the health epidemics that are underway are clear, present, and in many cases a little bit too far. There's no lack of data around our depletion of natural resources and contamination of those resources and those global health epidemics that we're facing. We do, however, find ourselves at a unique point in time where our deep understanding of natural systems and the incredible scientific and technological abilities and resources allow us to respond swiftly and with great tact to the challenges that we face. This is very messy and complicated business, and I'm very thankful to those who are out there mapping the system from all altitudes, from the local to the regional and the global perspective. The system map gives us an opportunity to understand where we sit within the system. It gives us a sense of what resources surround us and where opportunity lies. Systems mapping provides us a sense of context, and it provides a sense of where the levers are in the system to affect change. Such levers could include the creation of new business models that fill gaps within the supply chain. It could be the creation of new capital forms that fuel innovation and growth. And once the system levers have been identified, I believe that it's the act in pulling those levers where the true human spirit resides. In our drive to have an impact, to pursue opportunity, to leave our mark, I believe it is in the discovery and pursuit of our opportunities that the greatest sign of hope can be found, offering some chance for human and ecological preservation and growth. One of the greatest attributes of the food system working to our advantage, skip forward here, is that we all participate. Clearly, everyone within the food system has an opportunity to impact the food system in many ways, but we must look outside of the food system for new perspectives from folks who are not traditionally seen as participants, considering the roles of the military, faith-based organizations, the potential impact of hospital systems, schools. And perhaps one place to look for the emergence of new opportunities and the revolution already underway is within this community of entrepreneurs and financiers of ventures. But let's zoom in even further to a very specific kind of capital provider, the venture capital perspective. Now, to be clear, venture-backed businesses and the venture capitalists that support them represent only part of the solution set towards a sustainable system, but one with truly transformative potential. The growing interest in agriculture and food by venture capitalists is in and of itself a signal of the revolution underway and the emergence of new opportunities. Investments within agriculture and food by traditional venture capital funds have increased over the past 10 years on an 18% annualized basis. Now, venture capitalists or VCs include high net worth individuals, groups of those individuals, and professional money managers that invest in a very particular kind of startup. These are companies with exceptionally high growth prospects, and they're often technology oriented. You can think of the many examples of Groupon and Twitter, Facebook, all of which transformed our relationships, our communities, and indeed markets. Well, importantly, these VCs are looking at opportunities and pursuing opportunities within agriculture and food. Just yesterday, Andreessen Horowitz, This is a venture capital firm that has backed Twitter, Groupon, Skype, Facebook, made a $17 million investment in a new soil management and measurement company, a software-based company. A quick note on what VCs look for. First, venture capitalists seek emerging enterprises within very large and growing markets. We'll check. Agriculture and food encompasses some of the largest markets in the world. Two, venture capitalists seek an opportunity to transform markets, to disrupt markets. And one sign of this are industries where there are tremendous inefficiencies within supply chain and gaps. Sound familiar? Three, venture capitalists are driven by exit. They invest in companies that eventually reap a return by going public or being bought out by larger incumbents existing within the space. Now we know within agriculture and within the agriculture and food system space that there are very large organizations and consolidation is rampant. These organizations are buying companies to the clip of 30 to 50 companies, startup companies a year. And that has actually grown over the past 10 years at a 16% annualized rate. Importantly, the creation of these ventures, ideally built upon sustainable practices and respect for ecosystems, have an opportunity to affect those very large organizations and shape and change the system as we know it. My analysis has shown that some of the greatest opportunities for high-growth ventures within agriculture and food fall into four primary areas, ranging from the field to the consumer. These areas have potential for great transformation and for potential return. First, on-farm technologies. These are emerging to address challenges at the producer level. You can consider some of the waste stream management technologies that we're finding on-farm today. The generation of on-farm energy through anaerobic digestion processes that creates methane right on the farm, or the complementary aerobic digestion processes that create high-value compost that can be fed back into the soils. These are truly closed-loop systems. In the field, the $8 billion irrigation industry is undergoing a radical transformation. As smart irrigation technologies are emerging to address the some 30% wasted water going into fields. And in addition, farm inputs, including alternatives to pesticides, which is a $32 billion market, are emerging to address the challenges we face with runoff and contamination of both ecology and humans. Second, entrepreneurs are developing agribusiness operating systems in the form of software, hardware, and web-based tools to drive efficiencies for producers from small to large scale. New crop planning tools are emerging to assist farmers in their efforts to maximize volume and quality and in a sustainable manner. It provides greater confidence in year-to-year soil integrity and farm operation efficiency. The $1 billion precision-based ag tech industry is also providing GPS-based guidance and control in the field from the planting to the harvesting of crops. Our responsibility as developers, as capital providers, and the end users of these technologies is to design, to support, and to utilize sustainable solutions that are thus built upon respect for and understanding of ecological systems. As we continue from the field to the consumer, we come to the third area where supply chain innovations are emerging to drive efficiencies in existing markets. Consider the indoor grow tech that's emerging with aquaponic, hydroponic, and aeroponic. In an effort to generate more food with less resources, these technologies, which actually are not new, but they are evolving, are the basis of new business models that are addressing sustainable production. Within supply chain innovation, web-based platforms are emerging to connect consumers and producers, facilitating the procurement of local foods and building the connective tissue between supply chain participants. These are models that can have an impact locally and scale nationally, representing opportunity for potential attractive investment. Fourth and finally, consumer products are undergoing a radical transformation with the emergence of and growth of functional foods within genetically engineered foods and the sustainable growth within the organics and natural products industry. The functional food industry alone represents a $24 billion market and has grown at 14% on an annualized basis over the last 9 years. These products are being developed to deliver specific nutrients in a more targeted manner to address the shifting dietary habits of humans and address specific health implications that we face. And yes, new foods are being developed with genetic engineering and in extreme cases, completely in lab settings. Gucci meat may not be your particular preference, but how about meat that is grown using stem cells in a petri dish? Throw out the concept of terroir. It's worth noting here, and hopefully blazingly clear, that consumers hold incredible power within this system. We have an opportunity to affect the technologies of the future of the food system and to influence which ones will play a role. We must strive to live out the change that we seek and to our best abilities use our purchasing power as our vote for the future of food. And importantly, those who represent us in the political realm must hear, must respect, and must act upon our wishes. Now, certainly, the labeling of GE foods has been a hot topic here in Vermont and certainly globally. Transparency in what we eat is not just important for consumers, but it's also important for businesses, as well as the investors that are supporting those businesses. If we think about it, access to clear and true demand is what business plans and financings are built upon. Without providing the transparency consumers request, demand is in effect skewed and indeed manufactured. Ultimately, pure demand based on product transparency helps to mitigate the economic impact of potential shocks to the system down the road. Events that can reap havoc on communities, businesses, and entire economies. So from the field to the farmer, through the supply chain, to the food products we purchase, myriad opportunities are emerging. And this is just one perspective from where I stand, again, within the community of entrepreneurs and financiers, directing capital to change. And our community is growing with new resources. Nonprofits, for-profits, and governments are working together as never before. New organizational structures are coming to bear to support environmental and social missions. New sources of capital are being formed to address the vicissitudes in the bumpy road from idea generation to commercialization, all the way to sustainable business model. We're not alone in our pursuit. Whether in business, social work, or personal endeavor, I encourage and invite each of you to, especially those of you who do not view yourselves as participants within the food system, to discover your role within the system, to explore how you fit in, where your opportunity lies, and what impact you can have on the future of food. Thank you.